All right, folks, today's video is once again sponsored by Hartselle Haviland Express Lube, because we'll be using Haviland oils, the best of oils. This is today's project. It is I believe, a 1953 model Farmall Cub I got in trade for doing some work for some very kind farmers who've been very good to me. And, well, we're going to see if we can't get her running, put her on a trailer and take her home. She hadn't run in a good many years, been sitting in the woods for a long time. They got it and put it in this barn, ain't messed with it, but I've been vacuuming out the gas tank a little bit ahead of time and putting a little bit of liquid wrench and PB blaster on some of the moving parts, just so that can be soaking in while I'm running back and forth to the parts store. I believe we're going to start out today doing some stuff like, probably first I need to make sure the gas tank will hold gas. The bottom of it looks real good. The top don't look too great, but we'll work our way through that. Got to figure out if it's 6 or 12 volt, because cranking it over by hand isn't easy. I probably should, and I really don't feel like taking that hood off because it's got headlights run through it, but probably should take that hood off and put some Marvel Mystery in the cylinders, but probably won't. We'll just run them dry. But this will be fun, so I'll get right back to you guys. All right, folks, so here's where we're at. You're a little more than the average lube tech is still confused, but I know more than I knew before. So, like I said, I vacuumed out the gas tank, but pretty positive it's 6 volt. We got to talking at the parts store, me and a buddy of mine, and I don't believe it's positive ground. Meaning that instead of being negative to ground, you would have positive to ground, because this is our positive wire. So it being run to the starter would mean that it is our hot wire, and our ground wire would be our negative. I chose, after going to the parts store, to get pretty much my classic Get It Started kit. Now, I call it my classic Get It Started kit because if you're going to be getting old cars running, old tractors, old anything running, there's some things you should take with you. Tools, forgot those, but we have parts. So we even have some new old stock parts here, but we have Marvel Mystery Oil. Everybody should have it. It'll unseize any seized motor. Whether or not it'll run is different, but it will unlock it, I promise. Carbon choke cleaner, parts store brand. Starting fluid, a little bit of liquid consent. Pack of back pocket rags, because no man's worth his salt without a rag in his back pocket. And the magic maker, seafoam. Because first we're going to try running on seafoam and see if we don't have to rebuild the carburetor, at least to get it running and pulling on a trailer that I've yet to locate, but we'll make that happen. Normally you do also want to get some liquid wrench or PB blaster, but luckily there was some on the bush hog. This was a, kind of a special edition tractor. It came with that on the belly mowers. But all of this, it's going to run soon. So I'm going to do a couple things and get back with you. So when getting something old running, some of the first things you need to do when you walk up to it, you need to check if things are locked up. Move a few things, see how they are. Now I've already PB blasted all that. Move the gear shifter. This one feels pretty tight actually. Steering wheel. It would turn, except for that there's probably metal on the ground. Either way, ooh, comes with a church key. That'll be good for later. Pop a top. Look in the gas tank. Now luckily this comes with what's called the gas lid delete, because the gas lid took most of the neck with it. And you can't see in there. Wish you could. Don't have a separate flashlight for my phone on me, but it's actually surprisingly clean for something with a rusted out top on it. No radiator cap, and also no coolant. Dry as a bone. Kind of dirty too. But then you want to do things like check the oil. On this Farmall, that's right here. Oh yeah, she's got oil in her. Doesn't taste too bad either. Kind of thick. Probably so she won't leak. I'm spitballing here, but so far so good. The choke, it moves. So I think we're gonna throw a hot battery in her and see what happens. Just maybe give her a skosh of the, canned consent. See if she'll start a fire. Maybe I can burn this whole barn down by accident. All right, so after a couple of hours of messing around, I got the starter button unlocked. That was our first issue. This lever here, you pull this to make it start, and that lever pushes the button right there. She was a little stuck up, so I hit her with a hammer until she started working. You know how that goes. But, so after that, once it turned over, we realized we weren't getting no spark or anything. So what we did was pull the distributor cap off and noticed that the points in there were covered up with old white fuzz and stuff, just old corrosion. So we went down to O'Reilly's, got us a distributor cap, rotor button, points, and condenser. So here in a second,
shout out to our good man Brooke for that.
Yeah, shout out to Brooke for that. So when we get back to working on it, I'm gonna get the points pulled out in the condenser and show you the difference in all of them here in the next clip. And after that, I'll show you how to set a set of points and install a condenser and all that stuff. So get right back to you. All right, so here's the difference in our new and our old points, if it'll ever focus in. There's a lot of white corrosion on the old ones. New ones are nice and shiny. I'm using standard parts on this. O'Reilly's actually had the points condenser and rotor cap and button. So we'll get back to you when we're installing.
And a 1, and a 4, and a ching chong potato.
So after being proven wrong a few times, okay, Grant, had to go back. Distributor cap, rotor button, points and condenser was not enough. Our plug wires were pretty well toasty. This is not really what you want to see on the ends or anything, but I didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money. New plug wires are much too rich for my blood. That's all I'm saying. But took out a second mortgage on the house and got a new set of plug wires.
Refied for that lower rate.
Oh yeah. So this should be when it starts up. Should. Now, I was going to show you guys how to set the points. What I realized was it's dark, and this is not the best distributor to show you how to set points on because my hands will be entirely in the way of the whole process. So, probably going to make another video about that with a distributor that is outside of the car. But, luckily, parts store still had all the parts. So, I'm going to spray a little skosh of the Go Juice down the fire make it whole. And, yeah. Probably want to choke it too, considering it hasn't ran quite some time. That's probably going to lift up in a very violent fashion when this thing starts. Papa's always does when it starts. So, yeah, let's pull this out and turn the coil on. Get our multi-piece starter tool. A lever right here is supposed to do it, but it doesn't quite get enough leverage with the way that button is jacked up.
That's factory.
That's factory right there. I'm gonna get my feet out from under the blade portion of this ordeal. All right, here we go. Come on, give it to me. Let's set the throttle then. And you do have spark advance up here. I may have to call Papa and get him to remind me of where to set it at for starting. Maybe that's spark advance. I can't remember.
I don't know.
Also, non-sponsored, would just like to say this guy is my hero.
Trying to.
That's just dust. Alright, that's a 6-volt battery. I don't have a 6-volt charger. We'll get back to you after these technical difficulties.
And a 4, and a ching chong potato.
Well, she's getting fire, we think, because I shocked myself at the end of the plug wires, which would generally indicate that there's spark there, but the spark plug's pre-seized in there, so I poured a little more of that Panther Piss liquid wrench on there, and we're going to let it soak in. We got her on a trailer because I think it's time to quit being loud in this nice farmer's barn right behind his house where him and his wife are sleeping. So we're gonna get her loaded up and take her home. We're hoping that a 2-inch ball hitches what this takes, because that's what we've mounted it to on my truck. But old Red's coming home.